I have before me the Japanese Micromaster, Rabbicrater. I also have 15 additional Micromasters, who could be background players, and Metrobomb with 2 ramps, a piece that was missing from the various Metrotitan reissues. Yes, I've gotten these and they're very cool reproductions. They are not the originals. The originals are very hard to find. And I have to shout out to the Tommy Park store. They actually provided these for free so I could do a 100% honest review for you guys. In fact, they told me some stuff about these that was super honest, which is great. They have their own website and I'll be linking to the website in the description. They also have an AliExpress store if you prefer to order from there. And it's called a Jerry Store. So different names, but same place, same product. And I am very excited because these are things I could never get way back when they came out during G1. So we're gonna go through all these, see how the quality is, and maybe they're good for your collection. Be right back. So I'm gonna start with Rabbicrater here, and I'm gonna zoom quite a bit in. He came in this nice little plastic bag. Now Rabbicrater was only available as a video pack-in in Japan with a Zone VHS, I believe. So very hard to get. There he is in all his glory. Now he and later on Metrobomb, they are repaints of the US Skystalker, who came with, I think, a helicopter playset, but he's just him. He's like a Porsche 959 thing. I'm not a car guy, but that's what I'm told. He's a Porsche 959 sports car. And he's blue, which is my favorite color. Before I go too far, by the way, I'm Captain Kyle. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. If you're a longtime watcher, thanks so much for your support. And I want to do a special shout out. I was just at the Merchantville Toy Show selling stuff, extras, and ran into Angel and his lovely companion, Courtney. And Angel is a viewer and showed his support by talking me down $20 on one of the pieces I was selling, which is fine, actually. If you're going to a con, you see something you want, it doesn't hurt to ask. Sometimes vendors like me, when I'm a vendor, which is rare, can budge on the price. Sometimes we can't. So, but it doesn't hurt to ask as long as you do it respectfully. But back to the review, and thanks again to Angel and Courtney and all the people at RetroCon who said hi. That was awesome. So yes, Rabbicrater is Skystalker. Now I did see, mine does not have this problem, but I did see that there was someone who got one and this piece was not really laying flush. This looks like it's laying pretty flush to me, but apparently they could solve it by using a very small screwdriver and just loosening up that screw on the bottom there. So if you get one and it's not quite going down, that sounded sick, shut up Logan. Just a quick unscrew, which also sounds sick, and it should get right back into place. But I have not experienced this, but he is a cool looking Micromaster. I used to have all the Micromasters, except for the Japanese ones. And yeah, love the blue car mode, looks just like an original. As far as I'm aware, from pictures I've seen, I did not own an original, so I can't do a versus review, but let's do a quick roll test. And he rolls like most Micromasters, not perfect, but he rolls somewhat. A little better on rougher surfaces. So there he is. Now let's put him into his robot mode, which is a very simple transformation for most of the Micromasters of the G1 era, even most of the ones that they came out with since. You just flip down the legs, flip back the hood and such, and move forward the arms. And let's get him into a good position, into frame. There he is. He looks wonderful. And I'm gonna do a spin on the turntable of doom so you can see him from the back. He's a Micromaster, not too much to expect as far as complexity, and definitely not a lot to expect for posability. I mean, like Skystalker, he can sit, and you can even bend legs forward because he had a helicopter. So it's the same mold, so he does have the ability to sit. He can also kind of thrust his groin out, sick a bastard. And the arms can move up and down, up and down. And that's pretty much it. There's no moving of the head. There's no twisting at the waist. That is the extent of the posability, but he's still a really cool guy. And he's like $7. Compared to getting an original, that is a hell of a deal. And you get to tell jokes. A priest and a Rabbicrater walk into a bar. The priest says, ow. Rabbicrater's like, ha, I'm a robot. Didn't hurt. All right, I didn't say they were good jokes. So a neat little guy. He's a Micromaster. Again, the same mold as Skystalker, just in blue. All right, Rabbicrater, you can stay over here. Now, this whole big bag of Micromasters, there's 15 of these, and that costs about 10 bucks. However, and this was told to me by the vendor, these are not exactly high quality knockoffs. I'm not exactly sure if they're 100% reproductions of G1 ones, but they're an interesting group. I'm gonna show you the black and white, the Penguin Squad first. And they do seem similar to some Micromasters. I sold the majority of my Micromasters off years ago during the Great Purge. And for those who don't know what the Great Purge is, I just got everything US G1, some Japanese G1, some European G1, and some G2 and all that kind of stuff. But yes, they're black and white, and there's only 3 of this set, and it's an interesting mix. You got like a dump truck and like a gas oil truck and a plane. I don't know how these come together. As I said, they're not the most quality. They don't feel as quality as Rabbicrater, but you can transform them. They don't like have painted faces or anything. I mean, Rabbicrater has a nice gold painted face, which I probably should have pointed out. Gold painted face. But these guys are definitely, there are some paint apps on them, but really they're not high quality. Pieces can pop off. You just need to put them back on. But what they can be is like cannon fodder. They can be background vehicles that just hang out around your Titan cities. And the vendor himself said these are not high quality items. Do not expect a lot from them, but they're great filler background characters. You know, if you're setting up a diorama and you have a lot of them in vehicle mode or even in robot mode, it just adds to it. I think that's about the extent of the transformation. Gonna back it up a little bit. And let's see if they fall over when I turn them on the turntable of doom. You can take a look at each angle. I knew one would at least fall over. I have foreseen it. But remember, when you're getting like 15 of these guys for 10 bucks, well, we almost made it. Just stand up, dude. It's not a horrible deal. And again, just to have some extra guys. So that's the Penguin Squad. I'm gonna put them aside. I know you're like, let's get the Metrobomb. We are, and we're gonna have a special guest, so fear thee not, we'll get there. I think some of these I've recognized the molds, though these are, again, less quality material. I'm pretty sure I recognize this guy. And this is an interesting team, because you got a pickup truck, you got a Formula One racer. This looks like a repaint of, or a use of the mold of Hot Rod, who comes with Star Convoy in little size. So Star Convoy could be like, you killed me. I know there's a debate, but. And then there's this guy who I think was with one of the construction groups, but he's in this set for some reason. Again, a nice mix of different molds, not the best quality I've ever seen. And I think the original one of these, when you transformed him, his legs, his feet actually could turn forward. That does not appear to be the case with this one, but you can stand him carefully. You can call him sidestepper. And if you're having trouble with him standing, you can use the crane in the back to kind of prop him up. So this one, the Hot Rod repaint, this front piece there can pop off, so just be careful with that, but you can pop it back on. You got a pickup truck. I don't recall this from the Micromasters I had, but he looks a little bit more like a GoBot. This one, as I was transforming him, the leg came off, but it is something that you can just pop back on. There's little nubs and little holes that the nubs go into. And I just heard a satisfying snap. Again, the faces aren't really painted, but you have the Creamsicle Squad. Feel free to use these names yourself. The Penguin Squad, the Creamsicle Squad, and just like some of the original Micromasters, they didn't stand all that well. Particularly this racer has very narrow feet. I'm gonna try to carefully show you all the angles, but again, I'm trying to not have any fall over. You can see the wiggling from the racer guy, and you can come up with all kinds of names for these guys if you want. But there you go, it is the Creamsicle Squad. Not a lot of posability, just like original Micromasters, but they're fun. Then we have the Construction Squad. This squad makes sense. I don't know if they're exactly like the ones in the 6-builder set. They might be, and I'm too lazy to go grab my 6-builder set right now. It's all the way over there. I'm tired, man. I got a lot to do here. So there you go with, you have basically a hook crane, kind of like Hook. You have a scrapper type, you got a Mixmaster type, you got a Bone Crusher type. So these are the wannabe Constructicon set. Just call them wannabes for short. So the wannabes, they're not horrible. Again, the plastic does not feel super great, but again, background characters. And because they're reminiscent of certain Decepticons, would certainly make sense to put them with a Metrotitan if you're in that zone. See what I did there? See what I did? Never mind. Transformation is simple. Again, you can move the arms, you can kind of move the legs a little bit. Now this plate, I think, is in backwards. Let's see if I can pop it out without breaking, because there's a face on the plate, but it's facing the wrong way in relation to the arms. So, but I was able to fix it. Not that you can tell very easily in the detail on this camera, because not painted face and loose joints. There he goes. Yeah, this transformation, very simple, seems very familiar. And then we have the Bone Crusher type, who's actually one of the cooler ones of this group. He's got what looks like guns on his shoulders, and while the transformation is just as simple, he just looks a little cooler to me. All right, spinning, spinning, spinning on the turntable of doom. But yeah, a pretty neat set of Constructicon wannabe vehicles, so the wannabes. But wait, there's more. Oh, you get 15 with this. So these look like somewhat reminiscent of like one of the military squads. This guy is interesting. He's got a friggin' flag in the front, and it's got a star on it and arrows on the side. Actually looks like it could be like North Korean or something. So guys, what are you doing? I don't know, I'm not that familiar with flags. And this one has a gun on the top, and it looks like a little guy sitting in there. Could be a hologram who's swiveling back and forth and shooting people. But they're kind of like these bright yellow and blues. I'm gonna call them the Psychedelic Squad. Why not? And again, transformation's very simple, and you still have the flag down the back of this one. I'm doing my best, since I do have the frame very close, to make sure I don't move these guys, because it's really easy to just move them out of frame. Don't want to do that. I want you guys to be able to see these guys in all their glory. Praise be to Glorificus. You get that? Then we can be friends. No, even if you don't get it, we can be friends, but that's a good reference to get. There's that guy. Now, his legs don't go straight out. So again, quality on these guys is not nearly perfect. Look at this, you can actually shoot up in the sky with this guy. But again, super reminiscent of some of the military stuff, though none of them carried flags. And they didn't have this fake guy, or real guy, who knows? Help, I'm a prisoner, they're making me shoot! Going around and shooting people. Now this one's head seems to be kind of stuck down there, so a little bit of judicious use of tweezers, and it does somewhat come up. Doesn't seem to like to stay up, but you know, these could be casualties. And very loose joints in the hips. And Sky is here, because she loves a good Micromaster. She likes to bat them all over the place. Hi Sky, the star is here. Now Sky's been going through some rough times lately. Why? Because there's a new cat in the house. They don't get along. I'm hoping that changes eventually, but it's been a while, and you know, there is definitely some issues. So the Psychedelic Squad, where are you going, Sky? Thanks for the visit. Psychedelic Squad, there you go. One of them really likes Japanese culture and is bowing, or you know, he's just taking martial arts. But yeah, this whole set, around 10 bucks. You can get it again at the Tommy Park store. You can get it through AliExpress. The part you were waiting for, Metrobomb. Now Metrobomb is the exact same mold again as Skystalker, but this comes with the 2 ramps. Now, if you watched my reviews on both of the different Metrotitan knockoffs, one's a little less expensive and a little closer to the original because it has the plastic wheels. The other one seems to have rubber wheels, like the first Metroplexes that came out. Now, actually, I am noticing with this guy the same issue that I saw someone talking about the solution of, because the nose is not working quite well. So, screwdriver, let's see if this will fit. We'll flip it back, loosen it a little, and there you go, that's flush. So see, I experienced it with this one, not with the Rabbicrater, so Metrobomb, if he has the same issue, you can fix it. So the interesting thing about these ramps is they actually should hook in just like the original ones to the same spots, hopefully. We're gonna try it out on Metrotitan, and these would allow you to not only have ramps for Micromasters and additional ramps, but you could hook up some of the other cities and stuff. You could hook up Countdown, who was actually called Moon Radar in Japan, and was friends with Rabbicrater. So see, I keep coming back to you, dude. You got such a roll. But before we go over the ramps, again, it looks, as far as I know, like the original. All the angles, roll test, pretty much the same. But again, something that was very difficult to get in the US, and I don't know how difficult it is now to get in Japan, but it was only packaged with Metrotitan. So that's the only way you could really get him. And of course, the transformation exactly the same as Rabbicrater. And the plastic on these feels better than the knockoff stuff. Plus, he's got a silver painted face, which is nice. Of course, you need to be careful when trying to spin him on a turntable of doom. Small feet and all. But yeah, and posability again, he can sit. Sit, boy, sit. By the way, the legs are not stuck together on either of these guys, so they can do a walking pose. I mean, you get enough of them, you can have them walking across Abbey Road. And the arms up and down, up and down. Again, a great reproduction of a toy that's very difficult to get. And again, like $7. There's no buy two get one free on this one, but you might decide to get more than one just so that you can have additional ramps to hook up to Metroplex so he could interact with more Micromasters if you have a G1 version. But speaking of that, and speaking of these ramps, let's bring out Metrotitan. Now this is the rubber wheeled one. I don't think that I put all the stickers on the one with the plastic wheels, which would be a little bit more accurate, but I think for the purposes of this video, it's fine. The rubber wheels aren't going to affect anything. So let me quickly get him into city mode, and we're gonna test out these ramps. So we're gonna zoom out a bit so you can see the city mode, and we'll bring out, that's where I keep his missiles, and we can add this just for the sake of completion. Ta-da, Metrotitan. Now the ramps, if I'm not mistaken, are supposed to clip on various places. Let's just take a look. It would appear that the ramps are supposed to go here. Or is it here? They don't seem to lock into place. Oop, wait, maybe they do. Well, I got one to kind of lock into place and the other one, and that could be because this is a knockoff reissue. And maybe it would work better with the other one, which seems to be a little bit closer and cheaper than this one with the rubber wheels. But you do have the ramps. Again, you can connect some of the Micromaster stations to this. You can connect it to Countdown. And yeah, this ramp seems to be better. It doesn't seem to be great as a ramp without being connected to another station. So, but I think that's what you got. So, but again, it's kind of neat. And you get this guy for about the same price as Rabbicrater, but he comes with the two ramps to help complete your Metrotitan. And this one seems to not want to pop in that well. Maybe get the cheaper one and maybe it'll work. Pops into the other side fine. And again, if you have any of those Micromaster stations, that would be a good thing. So there you have it, a total of 17 Micromasters with Rabbicrater and Metrobomb and the Creamsicle Squad, the Psychedelic Squad, the Wannabe Squad, and the Penguin Squad. Just a very interesting set of Micromasters. Again, the Metrobomb and Rabbicrater, great quality. The other ones, not as nice, but again, for $10, cannon fodder and other stuff. But very, very cool toys, and unfortunately don't merge into anything, but I think they're a lot of fun, and I think it's worth it just for the Rabbicrater. But yeah, a bunch of fun Micromasters, and I hope you're having fun watching these videos, as much fun as I'm having making them. Again, thanks to Tommy Park Store and the Jerry Store, whatever they want to call themselves on the different platforms. But they've got some great stuff. And again, thanks for providing these at no cost for me to go through and review and do it in an honest way. So if you're enjoying my content, by all means, feel free to subscribe. That would be great. And while you're mulling over these guys, especially since they kind of pair with Metrotitan, why don't you check out this Metrotitan knockoff review over here. It's the cheaper one, the more accurate one with the plastic tires, and it comes with the proper little Metro Dash gun, aka Scamper gun. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.